Have you ever stopped to think, could a creature as majestic and powerful as the tiger actually be roaming the vast, snow-covered wilderness of Alaska? On the surface, it sounds impossible. Tigers are creatures of the dense forests and warm to temperate climates of Asia. Alaska, by contrast, is a place defined by bitter cold, endless forests, rugged mountains, and an ecosystem that seems completely alien to a tropical or subtropical predator. And yet, rumors persist. Stories continue to surface. Reports of enormous striped cats seen darting between the trees, trail camera photos of unfamiliar creatures, and local tales of encounters with something large, fast, and feline. Most intriguing of all are persistent whispers about a ghostly white tiger roaming the Alaskan interior, occasionally surfacing in myth and urban legend under names like White Death. So, could there be any truth to this? Are tigers, somehow, somewhere, surviving in the wilds of Alaska? In this in-depth investigation, we'll explore the facts, the myths, the scientific evidence, and the speculation. We'll examine ancient migration routes, modern-day escapes, controversial sightings, and even folklore. By the end, you'll have a much clearer picture of whether these tales are mere fantasy or grounded in reality. Could a tiger physically make it to Alaska? The most immediate question we have to ask is a logistical one. How could a tiger even get to Alaska in the first place? The most plausible candidate for such a journey would be the Siberian tiger, also known as the Amur tiger. This is the largest subspecies of tiger, with adult males reaching up to 10 feet in length, including the tail, and weighing over 600 pounds. Unlike their tropical relatives, Siberian tigers are built for cold weather. They have thick fur, a dense fat layer for insulation, and strong limbs suited to moving through snow. Their natural habitat, however, is largely restricted to the Russian Far East, primarily in Primorsky and Khabarovsk Krai, near the Sea of Japan. Though this is closer to Alaska than India or Malaysia, it's still a significant distance from the Bering Strait, the body of water that separates Russia and Alaska. At its narrowest, the Bering Strait is around 53 miles, 85 kilometers, wide. During winter, large ice sheets can form across it, and two islands, Big Diomede, Russia, and Little Diomede, USA, lie almost at its center. In theory, one might imagine a large animal crossing these islands using ice as a bridge. In fact, human beings have made this crossing. In 2006, two explorers walked from Alaska to Russia across the frozen strait. The trip was dangerous, slow, and unpredictable, taking 2 full weeks. But for a tiger to make such a journey? It would be extremely unlikely. A tiger would have no natural reason to make such a crossing, would likely struggle to find food on the way, and would be exposed to freezing temperatures and unstable ice. Unlike humans, tigers don't plan or prepare for long-distance travel over unfamiliar, hostile terrain. In short, a natural migration across the Bering Strait in modern times is close to impossible. What about the ancient past? Could tigers have lived in North America before? One compelling theory suggests that maybe we're asking the wrong question. Instead of wondering how a modern tiger could reach Alaska, perhaps we should ask if tigers were ever here in the distant past. During the last ice age, a vast landmass known as Beringia connected Siberia and Alaska. This land bridge allowed humans, mammoths, woolly rhinos, and many other species to travel freely between Asia and North America. So, could tigers have crossed it too? Some early paleontologists thought so. Fossil remains that resembled those of big cats were occasionally unearthed in parts of eastern Alaska, and were at one time believed to belong to tiger-like predators. However, with advances in paleogenetics and fossil identification techniques, most of these claims have been debunked. DNA analysis has revealed that the remains in question belonged not to tigers, but to an extinct species of cave lion, Panthera leospalea, or to the American lion, a prehistoric cat that lived in North America but had no direct connection to modern tigers. So, despite the romantic notion of saber-toothed or striped cats prowling ancient Alaskan forests, there is currently no confirmed fossil evidence of tigers ever having lived in prehistoric North America. The infamous trail cam photo of 2016. A major spark in the modern tiger in Alaska mythos came in 2016. a photo began circulating online, showing what appeared to be a full-grown tiger crouched over a caribou carcass in a snowy setting. The image was said to have been captured by a trail camera in the Tok National Wildlife Refuge. Almost instantly, the internet lit up with theories and excitement. Was this real proof? Unfortunately, no. After the photo gained attention, officials at the refuge revealed that it was an April Fool's prank, meant to entertain followers on their social media page. The tiger was most likely photographed in Russia and inserted into the Alaskan background digitally or through selective cropping. Despite this revelation, the image continued to be shared for years, often without context, and is still believed by some to be genuine. A 2023 sighting adds new fuel to the fire. In 2023, yet another strange report surfaced. This time, a blurry photo appeared in local news, allegedly showing a large, striped animal in the snowy woods near Rowan County, Alaska. The animal was walking away from the camera, and the photo's poor quality made identification difficult. The local sheriff's office confirmed that there were no registered exotic animals missing in the area, and that no zoos or facilities reported an escape. The story was intriguing, but lacking follow-up or solid evidence, it soon faded from the headlines. What exactly was seen remains unclear. It could have been a large dog, a mountain lion, or even an animal in striped clothing. As with many cryptid sightings, the photo left more questions than answers. The myth of the White Death. Perhaps the most enduring and dramatic legend is that of the White Death, a supposed massive white tiger that has haunted the Alaskan wilderness for centuries. According to folklore, it grows a new stripe for every person it kills. This tale appears to have originated, or at least been popularized by the reality TV show Alaska Monsters, which featured an episode focused on this legendary beast. The show described White Death as standing over 5 feet tall at the shoulder, weighing up to 1,000 pounds, and possessing nearly supernatural abilities. The evidence presented was dubious at best. Grainy thermal footage, unverified tracks, and dramatized hunting scenes. It was clear the focus was entertainment, not science. There are no references to the White Death in any credible scientific or historical records. It appears to be a product of modern myth-making, combining our cultural fear of apex predators with the mystique of Alaska's wilderness. Could a captive tiger escape into the wild? One of the more realistic explanations for any tiger sightings in Alaska would be an escaped pet or zoo animal. While it may sound shocking, there are actually more captive tigers in the United States than there are in the wild across the globe. Private ownership is legal in many states, and tigers are often kept in roadside zoos, private menageries, and even backyards. However, Alaska is one of the strictest states in the U.S. when it comes to exotic animal ownership. Permits are required for nearly all non-native species, and owning a tiger is essentially prohibited without being a recognized zoo or sanctuary. There are no official reports of a tiger ever escaping into the wild in Alaska. And even if one had, it would face enormous survival challenges. Tigers need large hunting territories, consistent food sources, and a climate that, while cold-tolerant in the case of Siberian tigers, still isn't a perfect match for Alaska's extreme conditions. What does the evidence say? After examining every major theory, from ancient migrations to escaped pets, from blurry photographs to folk legends, the conclusion becomes fairly clear. There is no credible evidence that wild tigers currently live in Alaska. No confirmed sightings, no footprints, no DNA samples, no verified camera footage, and no fossil record. The landscape of Alaska, while vast and wild, has been studied extensively by wildlife experts, biologists, and conservationists. If there were even a small population of tigers, someone would have noticed by now. What we're left with is a fascinating blend of imagination, folklore, digital manipulation, and the human love for mystery. So, are there tigers prowling the forests and tundra of Alaska? Almost certainly not. But the story itself reveals something powerful. Not about tigers, but about us. We are drawn to the unknown. We want to believe in hidden creatures, untouched wilderness, and the possibility that nature still holds secrets. In a world that feels increasingly mapped and measured, tales like these offer a window into the wild, both the one outside and the one in our imaginations. And maybe, just maybe, that's what keeps the myth alive. If you enjoyed this exploration, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more deep dives into wildlife mysteries.